softies, welcome to another knitting tutorial. My name is Infiniti, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to knit the Pique stitch. Now I do have a swatch sample, but the color is a little light for me to be able to actually show you guys on camera what it looks like. So we're going into this tutorial swatchless. Now before we begin, I will say I do hold my yarn and wrap my yarn a little differently than other knitters. So if the way I work my stitches bothers you, then feel free to find another video. Just do so nicely. Okay, and without further ado, we're going to get started. Alright, to work this stitch, you're going to want to cast on in multiples of 4 and then add an additional 2 stitches for selvage. So I went ahead and cast on 18. So I am ready to move on to row 1. For row 1, we are going to be knitting all the stitches along our needle. If you are unfamiliar with how to knit, I do have a beginner knitting tutorial back on my channel, which I will likely link at the end of this video. Alright, so now that is the end of row 1. We have knitted all of our stitches. What I recommend is that you place a stitch marker on this side of your work, as this is the right side of your work, just so you know, you remember as you work the stitch further along. So now we're going to move on to row 2. Alright, row 2, we are going to do a full row of purling. So we're not doing selvage stitches yet, we're just going to purl all the way across. And again, if you're unfamiliar with purling, I do have a separate video dedicated actually strictly to purling. And that is the end of row 2. We're going to move on to row 3. Row 3. Now row 3 is going to be a full row of knitting. So you're just going to knit in every stitch along your needle till the end of the row. Alright, and now we have reached the end of row 3. Now row 4. On to row 4. Okay, and after we knit our selvage stitch, we're going to begin to knit 1. Okay, and now we're going to repeat or start our repeat of purl 3, knit 1. So I'm going to bring my yarn forward and I'm going to purl 3. It is so early in the morning. It's too early in the morning. 2. And then 3. We're going to bring our yarn back so we can knit 1. Right, and we're going to bring our yarn back forward and we're going to commence to purling 3. And we're going to do this all the way across the row, and you should end with, I believe, a knit 1 and a selvage stitch. Oh, I was wrong. Not the first time. I'm going to bring it back. We're going to purl these last 3 stitches. 1. 2. And 3. And then we're going to work our selvage stitch. And that is the end of row 4. Now on to row 5. Now row 5 is simpler because it consists of solely knit. So we're going to knit all the way across this row. Alright, that is the end of row 5. We're going to move on to row 6, which consists solely of purls. So we're going to be purling for the entirety of row 6. Alright, and that is the end of row 6. We just purled the entire row. Now we're ready to move on to row 7, which consists solely of knit stitches. I'm going to work that row off camera and I'll meet you guys back for row 8. Alright, so I just finished row 7 off camera, which, as I said, it consisted of all knit stitches. So now we are going to move on to row 8. I did want to point out, and hopefully the camera picks up on that. So as you notice back at row 4, you have these little notches in your work, and these are our little peaks. So rows 4 and row 8 are what basically make up these peaks that make it the peak stitch, and they're so subtle. So that's why I didn't want to do it with a lighter color, because like here on the lighter color swatch, it's difficult to see, but they're all throughout the pattern, and yeah, it doesn't show up well with a light color. But on the back, I feel like it's reversible, because on the back here you can clearly see them on this lighter swatch. So I don't know, that's just me. But okay, row 8. So what we're going to do for row 8, turn our work, we're going to work our selvage stitch, I always knit mine. Okay, then we're going to bring our yarn forward to purl 1. Alright, now we're going to start our repeat, which is purl 1, knit 1, purl 2. So we're going to make another purl. So cutting that out. I'm going to make another purl. Then we're going to bring our yarn back so we can make a knit stitch. We're going to bring our yarn forward and we're going to purl 2. Okay, now we're going to start our repeat again of purl 1, knit 1, my tension was a little tight last row, and then we're going to bring our yarn forward and we're going to purl 2. 1 and 2. Easy as pie. So we're going to continue that repeat all the way across this row until we reach our last stitch. Alright guys, so I just finished row 8 and you can see the beginning of your second round of peaks, which are slightly offset from the first row, and it's going to create this kind of, I don't know, like I said, offset pattern where the pearls look like they're in the front. And I say that the stitch is reversible because you come to the back and you see all these different little notches. It just depends on the look that you're going for. So basically you would start over with row 1 and just repeat those 8 rows over and over again until you got to the desired length of your project. I hope today's tutorial was helpful for you all. If so, go ahead, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below letting me know how I did. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so YouTube will keep recommending my videos. I post knitting tutorials every Wednesday at 9:30 CST. And don't forget to check out my other social media, which are full of projects and giveaways and things like that. And so until next time guys, happy making.